It's official. John Jones is probably the most undeserving GOAT in the history of the sport. I've made a video on this before, and what I'm about to show you is him blatantly ducking the fight with Tom Aspinall and giving the most idiotic and stupid reasons of why not to fight him. You know, I would prefer if he just said, I'm retiring, I don't want to fight anymore, rather than completely swerving and avoiding the fight. We're going to break down this interview he did with Kevin Iole. Kevin Iole should have pressed him on this more, but obviously you've got to keep etiquette and be respectful with the fighters, especially when you work for the UFC, and especially when John Jones is apparently the company man for the UFC. You've got to keep yourself back. However, I'm not going to do that in today's video. I'm raging at the situation. I think this is delusion. I know John Jones is a scumbag human, and he's 37, he doesn't want to be in the octagon too much more, and he has a legacy. However, it's just very frustrating for the fans because he says one thing, we're expecting one thing. This fight with Stipe shouldn't even be happening, and now he comes out with things like this. We're going to break it down today for you folks. Welcome back to the channel. Kevin Iole did a good interview with Jones. Let Jones talk. This is ridiculous though.
Was the in favor focus? I want to see your.
We're going to watch it right now, guys.
In some aspects, and I come up with what I think the formula to winning will be, and that's
just wait for it.
Plan.
Tom Aspinall's the guy that people want to see you fight, right? So here's the question: you're fighting Stipe Miocic, and I know you're focused on that fight. If you defeat him, as you're a 6-1 favorite to win the fight, if you defeat him, will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
Wait, can I just stop for a second? Since this is a legacy fight that the UFC have put together, a legacy fight, he's a 6-1 favourite. Legacy. This is how you build legacy, guys, not fighting the toughest tests. This is Kevin Iole asking John, will we see the Aspinall fight next? Do you have a pair of balls, John?
Will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not.
More than likely not. Why? Why, John? Okay, you're retiring, obviously. Give me your reasons.
More likely not. I feel like Tom Aspinall is, I don't want to say nobody, but he just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. And I understand that. I mean,
Look at Kevin Iole's face.
Hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. And
yeah, I know, right? Look. Hasn't proven anything. Has 6 wins in the top 10 of heavyweight, John. All by finishing the first minute. You have 2 finishes in your last 10 fights against competition that has aged like milk. The people Aspinall has beaten in 10, 20 years time will be remembered as some of the best heavyweights on the planet. The people that you've beaten were remembered as pumped up middleweights, and you wouldn't even fight people on short notice, unlike Tom Aspinall did to win his interim belt against the most dangerous man on the planet. On short notice, John. You've never done that before in your whole career. You've cancelled events because, I can't fight Chael Sonnen on 2 weeks' notice. I've been preparing for another guy.
And I understand that. I mean, he won his belt against Sergey. Sergey just got slaughtered by someone else. So
he won his belt. This is Jones's reasoning. Okay, so Aspinall won his bout against Sergey Pavlovich, who was on a 7-fight first-round KO streak. Aspinall finished him in 1 minute. Jones seen that and was like, okay, no problem. But because Sergey Pavlovich then went on to lose to Alexander Volkov by decision, which was a good performance from Volkov, solid performance. Oh no, Sergey Pavlovich got slaughtered, which discredits Aspinall's win. Pavlovich was slaughtered by Volkov. Aspinall destroyed Volkov with one of the most breathtaking performances at heavyweight we'd seen in about 10 years. And it was inside 3 minutes. So you're running. You're running scared. Oh, but, he got slaughtered by Volkov, so Aspinall hasn't done anything. Aspinall destroyed Volkov. Let's keep watching.
It's just like, I'm not here to gamble someone else making a name off of me. I'm
not here to gamble somebody making a name off of me. Jon Jones isn't here to gamble losing. Then this is what the UFC will do. The UFC will give him fights that they know Jones can win just to keep Jones around, because Jones at this point in his career, he doesn't want to take any risks losing. You know, if you're the GOAT of the sport, then you go out on top, but you lose to the next up-and-comer. That's how you give someone an opportunity. Imagine when Alex Pereira beat Jan Blachowicz in a very close split decision, and in his first fight at light heavyweight, and then Yuri said, "No, I'm not going to give you the opportunity because you haven't done enough." Where would we be now? You have to give these guys opportunity. It's the same way with Henry Cejudo and Mario Bautista when their little interaction today. Cejudo said, "You've done nothing, you're boring," but then at the end of the day, Cejudo's on a 2-fight losing streak, Mario's on a 7-fight win streak. You have to go down the ranks sometimes. Poirier did it with Benoit Saint Denis. Then he got a title shot after because he proved himself. He held his spot. Aspinall's also the interim champion. He's in the interim.
compete against the guys where when we look back, 10 years from now, it'd be like Jon Jones fought this guy and that guy.
No one thinks that now, though. So it will be no difference in 10 years. Right now, we look at your career. Yeah, Rashad Evans, DC twice, really good, although you were on steroids. Reyes, you lost to, and then he went on to lose. Anthony Smith, you illegally need him and ruined his chances in that fight, and he went on to lose loads. Thiago Santos, you won by split decision. You barely beat him, and then, well, he went on to lose loads, and then he went to the PFL and lost. But in 10 years, we'll remember him and think, fuck, he did really well beating those guys. They their careers were great. Lyoto Machida, you knocked him down. The first time you've ever knocked anybody down with your hands. And it was when he was coming into the punch. Alexander Gustafsson, very, very close fight. You did beat him in the first time round. Second time round, good fight, but he went on to lose loads. He was beaten by Krylo. He was beaten by everyone after that. So yeah, in 10 years' time, I'll definitely be saying, fair play to Jon Jones. He did this, he did that. No, you're a drug cheat and you've got no real credible wins. Cyril Gane, that win could age well, but he's got no grappling the same way Aspinall does. He doesn't mix things up. He's not a devastator the way Aspinall is. You wanted to fight Cyril Gane, but Cyril Gane beat Volkov, but now you're saying because Volkov beat Pavlovich that you can't fight Aspinall? But you'll fight Cyril Gane. Do you want to know why? Stylistically, he works for you.
Guy and this legend and this champion and this champion.
Daniel Cormier. And you had the belt. But you won't give Aspinall a choice when you won it. You want a vacant belt. Francis Ngannou leaves the UFC, and all of a sudden, 5 weeks later, you're fighting for the belt after not coming back for 3 years while he was there. You're a chicken. You're not a goat. You're a chicken.
If there were to be a fight of a guy that's still on our UFC roster, that would be.
Oh, here we go. He's saying who he would fight, and it's not Aspinall, so it makes no sense. But let's see what he's got.
Not only financially worth it, but legacy worth it. It would be Alex Pereira.
A 37-year-old light heavyweight who can't grapple. That's who you want to conclude your heavyweight legacy with? We all know why he wants that fight. It's because Pereira can't grapple. effectively anyway. Defensively and anti-jiu-jitsu wise he could, but not against the caliber of Jones. And they're the same age. Pereira would probably sleep Jones, but I suppose Jones would just die for the legs. Pereira Aspinall would be fun after Jones is out of the picture.
You know, Alex Pereira and I, we both 37.
Light heavyweight champ.
Yeah, we're both.
Kevin Iole is giving the reasons of why it would make sense. John Jones just said, oh, because he's 37 and I'm 37, we could do that matchup. Oh, I'm so sick of this, guys. I hope Stipe batters him.
We're both 37 years old. Right now, I weigh about 235. I'm an incredibly light heavyweight. I think Pereira walks around at 240. And I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe gone tomorrow.
Tom Aspinall's been in the UFC for 4 years. His average fight time is 2 minutes. He stops everyone in the first round, 6 of the top 10. It's not like he's cool today and gone tomorrow. He's won an interim belt and he's defended it because you were just not wanting to fight him. You could have fought Tom Aspinall on this card, but you wanted to wait for Stipe after Stipe pulled out. No, after you pulled out, sorry, my mistake. The only reason, if this was anyone else, the UFC would have stripped him of his title. It's like when Khabib was insistent on only fighting once a year. And it was like he fought in October of 2018, and he didn't return till like October the next year. Then he wanted to wait out till it was just, and the only reason they weren't stripping him was because he's the GOAT of lightweight. You can't strip the GOAT. The same rules should apply for John Jones, but I know they won't because the UFC will give John Jones handy fights just to keep him around. And if they make Jones versus Pereira, I'm interested in it, but what the fuck's Aspinall going to do? I hope if Jones retires, Aspinall is automatically promoted and Aspinall does not have to fight for a vacant belt because they're just faffing him about at that point because this is just ridiculous.
I remember a time when the whole world thought Johnny Walker was going to be the guy to beat me. And
Such a bad analogy. How the fuck is Aspinall anything like Johnny Walker? That's like Johnny Walker going out and starching every single person he's fought in a minute. And not getting KO'd 5, 6, 7 times. No, and not everybody on the planet was saying Johnny Walker's the one to beat John Jones. They were just like, oh, this is some fresh blood in the light heavyweight division. And then obviously he lost to Krylov and stuff during COVID, and he trains at SBG Ireland, where there's no heavyweights there, you know, or light heavyweights. It's just not smart career moves by Johnny Walker, plus the glass jaw. No one thought he was going to be a threat to John Jones. They just thought this is a young, hungry up-and-comer. He's fun for the division. Like, I remember when everybody thought Jones lost to Reyes, including the boss, Dana White. Why doesn't he talk about, like, Aspinall's nothing. Look at Kevin Iole laughing. Like, no one's... Also, Aspinall is the interim champ. He's the scariest man on the planet. If you go out there and dismantle Tom Aspinall, you are the greatest of all time because you then have beaten people from 3 generations and the scariest heavyweight prospect we've had ever. And you can't say he's done nothing. He's won an interim belt and defended it.
no disrespect for Johnny Walker, but I mean, we all have seen the way his career has played.
We've all seen the way Johnny Walker's career has played out, and we've all seen the way Aspinall's career has played out. You can see the difference from a mile away. This man is a chicken. He's running scared. This is absolutely ridiculous for even having this conversation. He shouldn't even be fighting Stipe. He should be fighting Aspinall. The UFC won't give him 50 million to fight, you know.
I've just been here too long to get all excited about someone who's hot today. I'm here for legacy.
You're here for legacy, and you're fighting a guy whose last fight was 4 years ago, and he got slept by the champion. And then the champion left, then you decided to come back. You're a fucking phony, fanny prick. You're gay. Oh my God, what? Kevin Iole doesn't know what to say. He should be pressing him. He should be saying, but Aspinall's the interim champ. He's done more than you've done in the past 10 years in 1.5 years. Like, what the fuck?
Gambling.
Aspinall finishes fights. Jones, in his last 10 fights, has finished 2 people. One of them was by submission, and the other one was fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. This is ridiculous.
For way too long to just take random fights.
The last finish he had was Gustafsson and Cyril Gahn. 2022, was it? He beat Gahn. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I'm part of the whole world, and I did not think Johnny Walker was going to beat you, but we'll go there. I know we're running short of time, so I want to get 2 more questions into you, John. First of all, I think that you've had a number of great accomplishments in your career, right? It's been unbelievable. And in your, I would say, technically undefeated, right?
And that's the Aspinall segment. He's running. He's running, he's running, he's running. He's absolutely terrified of Tom Aspinall. And even the fact he said he doesn't want to risk his legacy against someone who's not accomplished anything. Imagine the moment if Tom Aspinall beats him up and finishes him. Imagine that legacy moment for Jones. You will go down as the greatest fighter of all time, but time caught up to you. And I understand he doesn't want that to happen. But it's these mental accusations. Oh yeah, I'll come back and I'll fight Stipe and I'll sit and wait for Stipe because that's a huge legacy fight, not the one that will really improve my legacy, fighting Aspinall. And then he goes, I'm just maybe going to ignore Aspinall. Alex Pereira, he's fucking dangerous. He's the shit at the moment. Give me him. Why? Oh, we're the same age, the same weight, and he can't grapple. Enough said. All you black Americans who fucking love this man, fuck you. He's a fraud, he's a phony, he's a pussy. He's a pussy. Get out the division, get out our sport. We want to be great. You're a fucking fraud, mate. Fuck you. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe.